My name is Joe McClure. I'm an information management specialist currently working in the Operations Center at the Department of State in Washington, D.C. The Operations Center is the sort of main nerve center for the whole department. It's where the secretary's calls are scheduled. It's where we spin up task forces for major events around the world. It has multiple functions, and my job is to do innovation in technology for those people to make their jobs easier. Basically, we look for ways to either by process improvement or by technological improvement, make their jobs easier to connect the secretary's phone calls, to get the information, get the right information to the right people at the right time, which is sort of our general mission. So I joined as an information management specialist in March of 2012. Before that, I was working for the Appalachian Mountain Club as a network systems administrator. So basically doing general IT stuff and network management for a fairly large nonprofit in the Northeast. And then before that, I was a Peace Corps volunteer in El Salvador. And I did classes on general computer literacy for middle and high school students in a rural village on the side of a volcano. Peace Corps was where I had my first real experience with foreign service. Some of the embassy families there would host Thanksgiving and invite the volunteers over. So that was my first oh, these people are Americans working abroad, supporting diplomacy, and at one particular Thanksgiving, there was a gentleman who was an information management specialist, knew I had a tech background with a degree in computer science, and it highly encouraged me to join. And then when I got back, I started the application process, and after a couple applications, here I am. My first post was in Paramaribo, Suriname, a small country on the north side of South America. A bit of an oddity in the South American landscape, as they don't speak Portuguese or Spanish. They're a Dutch-speaking country. My job there was just as an information management specialist. It was just me and my boss as American direct hires. So I did kind of everything. It was a very small post as well, so we didn't have a lot of the same cleared personnel that larger posts have. It came down to basically if it had a cord, we were fixing it. So like the cable TV was out, we ran new cable wire. The air conditioners broke, my boss figured out how to fix it, and so I got to learn kind of a smattering of a whole bunch of different things. It was a great growing experience, and I worked for a really great boss. So I've lived in 3 places so far, but overseas. My first post was Paramaribo, Suriname. My second post was Manama, Bahrain. And my third post was Berlin, Germany. We get some measure of choice. The first 2 posts are what we call directed assignments, which basically means that you're given a list of posts and then you rank order those 1 to however many. For my first choice, it was 1 to 13. And for the second one, it was like 1 to 28, give or take. And then the career development officer for entry level actually does the assignment of person to post. Both times I was lucky enough to get posts in like the top third, which I think is pretty good. And then after your second post, bidding on the third post, it becomes more like trying to find a job. It's through connections, it's through interviews, it's through references, and then provided all of that lines up, you go through the sort of bidding process of the bureau says they want you, and then you end up in that position. So At that point, you do have a fair amount of choice. I mean, depending on where you have contacts and where you have people that will be willing to recommend you. There really isn't, I would say, a typical day for an IMS. Every day brings new challenges, new problems to solve. It's a very mixed bag, and because of the variety of duties that are assigned to IMSs, it definitely changes from day to day. One day you could be doing mail in the mailroom. The next day you're doing, fixing doing a patch on the classified system. The day after that you're doing installations of new workstations, because we have a program called the Global IT Modernization Program. So we get about 20% new equipment every year. So that all needs to be rolled out, or you're fixing a printer, or So I think it definitely varies day to day. Occasionally, we're given opportunities outside of the strict IMS duties. One particular example was as part of the first and second tour officers group in Paramaribo, my first tour. We were given the opportunity to go and directly support the ambassador on a public diplomacy mission into the interior of Suriname. So Suriname is an interesting place. It has sort of population on the northern third, with roads and so on. And then as you go down, you're coming into basically pristine rainforest with small villages of people. And when I first arrived, we had Peace Corps volunteers in some of those small villages. So we flew with the ambassador to the interior and then took a boat trip visiting these Peace Corps projects, these major Peace Corps projects like boat docks and solar electric fields and things like that to support public diplomacy. I think that was my most memorable experience doing the actual support of diplomacy. For FAIT Fellows who are beginning their internship, especially overseas, you can expect that sort of same variety of duties. It really is everything. So like any sort of communication system in or out of the embassy is something that we support. We support the mail, radio, telephone, satellite, email, internet. That you can sort of expect to have duties in any of those areas. For those serving domestically, it depends on what bureau or branch you're assigned to. They're much more siloed domestically. So IRM is broken up into information resource management, which is the functional bureau that houses the sort of IT side of things. It's broken up into branches, and each branch has sort of a particular function. We have like the enterprise network management branch. We have the pouch and mail guys. So each sort of function has its own particular area. So depending on the branch, you'll probably have duties that are more specific to whatever their function is. I think my advice to those applying for the FAIT Fellowship would be flexible and be prepared for anything. This job is a lot of fun. It affords an excellent opportunity to travel and experience new things. And I would say just be ready and able to accept those new experiences.